Hey everyone, happy to have you here with me once again. Welcome back. Today, as you can see in the title, we're going to be shaming myself. I don't know, I feel like I'm going to regret this video because I'm going to share with you my newer purchase. I decided to get the Lightwork Volume 3, the Experience palette. This is a mini. I was pretty sure it said mini in the name, but it doesn't. And this is the most expensive palette in my collection, and it only has 8 shades on it. So it's kind of embarrassing to recognize, but I have paid, I will say I have paid over $100 in this palette. This palette by itself, it's pretty expensive, but also of course here in Chile, Danessa Myricks is not available, so I needed to purchase it from a reseller, and that makes the palette even more expensive for me. And also I decided to pay it like, how do you say quotas? Like I'm not paying the whole palette in one payment, but I use the credit card and I'm going to be paying for it for 6 months. So with interests and all, this end up being over $100 for me. And it only has 8 shades on it, so that means that at least each one of these shades cost me $12.50, and that's way too much. But look at it, it's so freaking pretty. I'm so happy that I have it. I kind of regret spending that much money on it because I know that I don't have the money to spend in this kind of stuff, but I did it anyway. But the thing is, and the whole idea of this video is try to decide if this was worth it or not. And it's not just because of the price, but because I also recently got the Plain Jane Remastered palette from Adept Cosmetics. I'm also paying this in different payments. I use the credit card too, and I'm going to be paying for it for 3 months. So did I need this palette if I already have this palette? We'll see. In case you're not familiar with this palette, this is the Danessa Myricks palette. I've been using it lately and I'm in love with the duochromes and multichromes. I've been having so much fun using this palette. And one of the reasons why I was thoughtful about purchasing this one over here is because I know that the more shades that I have, the less love I can give to each one of the shades in my collection. So maybe if I got this palette and I end up getting it, I wasn't going to be able to get as much love to this palette over here. Sorry, it's really reflective. So yeah, we're going to be looking at each one of the shades in this palette, and we're going to be comparing them to this palette to see if I have any replicates. I can say that I have at least 2 that I think are pretty similar, and see. So I'm going to film the close-ups of the swatches with my iPhone because I feel like maybe you're going to be able to see them more clearly with this camera, but we're going to be comparing them over here. So let's start with the first shade, and I was super surprised to realize that this beautiful shade, it's a cream. So yeah, I don't know how to describe it. I will say it has a minty. When I look at it straight, like this, it looks white, almost completely white. But if I turn it a little bit over here, I see a little bit of blue, minty color, a little bit of purple and pink. I don't know, it's super pretty. So we're going to swatch it. As I said, this is a cream. Look at that, it's so freaking pretty. Okay, I think you can see like the green on it, but not really the pinky purple. Let me see if you can see it on this. Oh my god, this is so pretty. Okay, here I have the shade. Definitely I'm going to need to show it to you with the other camera because you cannot see it. Okay, I was so excited about swatching the shades that I completely forgot to make the comparisons. But here you can see the shade in your right is the one from Danessa Myricks. Then we have in the middle ACY10 from the Adept Cosmetics. And I think the last shade is ACY7 again from Danessa Myricks. And I get to the conclusion that the colors are not similar enough. Okay, moving on, we have the next shade, Galaxy, over here. I don't know if I said that the first one was Polaris, but we have Galaxy, and it has from purple to blue, a little bit of green. Yeah, it's really pretty. I don't know how to describe this shade, but it's one of the most, like, look at it. You can see it. Oh my god, this is so freaking pretty. Okay, I'm so glad that you can see it. So, this is definitely something that I didn't have in my collection already. How can I show this beauty to you? No, you cannot see it, but you were able to see it in my finger. So, I'm happy with that. I'll try to get, oh my god, this was so pretty. You can see it a little bit there. Oh my god, it's so freaking pretty. But I definitely don't have anything similar to that shade over here. So far I will say that the two shades, Polaris and Galaxy, I didn't have already. This is completely unique to my collection. I have something that is a little bit similar to this, but definitely not the same. So let's move on with Martian, this shade over here. These shades are so soft. Okay, let's see if you can see it. Okay, I'm going to give you a swatch, and oh, this is pretty. When I look at it in the pan, it looks like a teal, but I can see that it has so much purple to it. Yes, you can see it. Not as clearly. I'm going to have to insert like close-ups over here, but it's really pretty. But I think that shade can be similar to ACY8, this shade over here. So let's compare them. Yeah, they're similar. No, not similar enough. Again, ACY8, the one from Adept Cosmetics, you'll see it in the close-ups, looks way more purple, like the change in the color goes more to a lilac, while the other one looks more greenish. You can see the purple in like if I see it from this angle, I can see the purple, but I don't know, this is so pretty. The ACY8 from Adept Cosmetics, it's way more like a topper, while the other one has a little bit more base pigment. And if I look at it straight, I can see an aqua color, kind of more minty leaning. And if I look at against the light, I can see the purple. And maybe the purples are kind of similar. I will say the one from Danessa Myricks is a little bit more like vibrant than the other one. The Adept Cosmetics one is a little bit more like a pinkish lilac, while the other one it's more like a true purple. But they're different. Oh my god, I'm so happy that they are different. Moving on, we have the shade Soul over here. Looking at it, I wouldn't say it has a shift. I will say it's a pretty metallic, kind of a antique golden, I will call it. But I cannot see any flip to it, so let's give a swatch. This feels a little bit more glittery, like I can feel like the particles. Oh, I just forgot to show you the finger. Yeah, this one is not as special. I will have chosen a different shade. Yeah, and you can see it quite clearly in the camera. It doesn't have anything to show. It's a pretty like golden, but nothing special. So maybe it looks similar to this shade over here, ACY3, because this is also a greenish gold that doesn't have any shift to it. It's a little, no, not really similar. No, it's not similar. I prefer the one from Danessa Myricks. This is the other shade. You can barely see it because it's a shade that when I look at it, like not when the light is not hitting the shade, it's almost a beige, but then it has a little bit of green, and I see a little bit of pink in the Adept one, but this is just a golden. I'm going to film the close-ups anyway, but they're not similar at all. Okay, next we have the shade Strawberry Moon over here. This is supposed to be a highlighter, I think. It's pretty. It's kind of flaky. I'm going to do the swatch over here on my palm. I don't know why I haven't done this. You cannot see it. I should have done it somewhere else. But yeah, in certain lightings it looks like a white, but this one I think it's way too similar to ACY10, this one over here. I think this one is going to be similar. It's the second time that we compare ACY10 to a shade in the Adept Cosmetics, but I will say these two are a little bit closer. I'm going to show you the close-ups because you cannot see it over here, but I have to say that in this case I prefer the Adept Cosmetics one. It's way more pretty. The shift is really, it's amazing, from pinky to green to white, and the other one goes from a golden, I will say, to lilac, and I don't see any pink on it, maybe a little bit. Okay, we still have 3 more shades to talk about, and let's go with Aurora. Aurora over here. Looking at it from in the screen, it looks completely purple, but when I look at it from the side, it's an olivey green. And again, this is another shade that I have something similar in my Adept, because oh, look at it, it's so pretty. It's really, really pretty. But I think I have something similar in my Adept Cosmetics, and that is one of my favorite shades in the Adept Cosmetics palette. Over here we have the one from Danessa Myricks, and the one that I think it's going to be similar is ACY12. That again, when I look at it straight ahead, how do you say that? From this angle, it looks more pinky than purple, I would say, but from the side, it looks like a bright green. What do you want? Yeah, these two are way too similar. I would say this is the first one that it's a little bit too similar. This is a weird place to make a swatch, but yeah. This is the one from Adept. No, this is the one from Danessa Myricks, and this is the one from Adept Cosmetics. I forgot the name, but these two are too similar. They're different. I can see the difference, but it's too similar. I would say this is the first shade in the palette that I have like a duplicate in the other palette that is way too similar to consider as, I don't know. I knew that those two shades were going to be too similar, but I'm a little bit disappointed to confirm it, so I cannot speak. Okay, and 2 more shades to talk about. First, we'll go with Gaia over here. It goes from a bluish green to a reddish golden, I would say. So let's see. Oh, it's so foiled. Look at it. I know that I won't regret my decision of purchasing this palette. I shouldn't have purchased it, to be honest, but it's amazing. And I will say the most similar shade in my other cosmetics is this one over here, ACY9, but the green is not as strong, as vibrant as the one in the other cosmetics one, in the Danessa Myricks one. Yeah, no, they're not similar at all. This is the one from Adept Cosmetics. This is the one from Danessa Myricks. They don't look alike, almost at all. So let's move on to the last shade. I've been washing my hands so often trying to get the swatches out so I can film the close-up. So let's go with Solar Rain. This shade over here. I don't know how to describe it. So let's swatch it over here. I don't know if I have something similar. I feel like it's a basic shade, but I don't think I have anything similar. No, I don't have anything similar to Solar Rain over here. You'll see it in the close-ups. So in conclusion, I have paid $100 in this palette over here for 8 shades, and I will say most of the shades in this palette are quite unique in my collection, excepting Gaia over here. No, it wasn't Gaia, it was Aurora over here, this shade. That shade, it's way too similar to my ACY12 for my Adept Cosmetics, and even if some of the shades in these two palettes can be similar, not exactly the same, but kind of similar, I will say that this palette is more wearable in a daily basis than this one over here. This has way more pigment, like base pigment to it. The colors are way more vibrant. So out of the shade Aurora, I will say this palette is worth it. It's unique in my collection, and it gives something to my collection that I didn't have before. I'm a little bit afraid because I feel like these colors are so vibrant that they're going to be a little bit difficult for me to wear. But yeah, I'm really happy that I have gotten it. Again, I won't take the same decision twice. If I will be in the same circumstances, I don't think I will have purchased that because it's way too much money. As we said in Spanish, it caught me flying low. Well, I'm happy to have it. I don't regret it. Maybe a little bit spending the money, but I don't really regret having the product. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, this video has been already way too long. I hope you enjoyed it. I feel like this is an exercise that I needed to do for myself so I can see. I'm so relieved. I'm kind of disappointed and relieved at the same time because a part of me was hoping to see that the shades were similar, so I was going to be able to tell myself, see, you shouldn't have bought it. But at the same time, I'm so relieved that I spent the money and it's different. It's unique in my collection. But yeah, that's everything for today. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you will be interested to see this kind of content again. Maybe not with an eyeshadow palette, but with other purchases that I'll do in some point. I'm not planning to buy any more makeup for the rest of the year because I have already spent way too much money. But maybe, I don't know, let me know if this is a kind of video that you enjoy. But yeah, that's everything for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like it, please consider subscribing, and I hope I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys!